child from Trinidad, enlisted in the Navy and then earned the titles she values most: U.S. citizen and Navy midshipman. And today, and it's the reverence for tradition shown by James P. Haig, a communications maintenance Marine in Iraq, who today is joined by the man who first urged him to sign up, his grandfather, returning 6 decades after he was a midshipman, a submariner from World War II, 89-year-old Captain James E. Haig. Honor, courage, commitment. These are the values that have defined your years in the yard and that you'll need in the years ahead as you join the fleet, as you join and lead the Marines, as you confront the ever-changing threats of an ever-changing world. For history teaches us that the nations that grow comfortable with the old ways and complacent in the face of new threats, those nations do not long endure. And in the 21st century, we do not have the luxury of deciding which challenges to prepare for and which to ignore. We must overcome the full spectrum of threats, the conventional and the unconventional, the nation state and the terrorist network, the spread of deadly technologies and the spread of hateful ideologies, 18th century style piracy, 21st century cyber threats. So SEALs and Special Operations Forces, we need you for those short notice missions in the dark of night. But we'll also need you for the long-term training of foreign militaries so they can take responsibility for their own security. Marines, we need you to defeat the insurgent and the extremists. But we also need you to work with the tribal sheikh and local leaders from Anbar to Kandahar who want to build a better future for their people. Naval aviators and flight officers, we need you to dominate the airspace in times of conflict, but also to deliver food and medicine in times of humanitarian crisis. And surface warfare officers and submariners, we need you to project American power across the vast oceans, but also to protect American principles and values when you pull into that foreign port. Because for so many people around the world, you are the face of America. These great opportunities come with great responsibilities. Indeed, midshipmen and presidents swear a similar oath, not only to protect and defend the American people, but the Constitution of the United States. Yesterday, I visited the National Archives and the halls that hold our Constitution, our Declaration of Independence, and our Bill of Rights. I went there because as our national debate on how to deal with the security challenge that we face proceeds, we must remember this enduring truth. The values and ideals in those documents are not simply words written into aging parchment. They are the bedrock of our liberty and our security. We uphold our fundamental principles and values not just because we choose to, but because we swear to. Not because they feel good, but because they help keep us safe and keep us true to who we are. Because when America strays from our values, it not only undermines the rule of law, it alienates us from our allies. It energizes our adversaries, and it endangers our national security and the lives of our troops. So as Americans, we reject the false choice between our security and our ideals. We can and we must and we will protect both. And that is just what you will pledge to do in a few moments when you raise your right hand and take your oath. But by that simple act, you will accept the life of great sacrifice. Long deployments, separation for loved ones, tests and trials that most Americans can't imagine. But that is the oath you take, the life you choose, the promise you make to America. And today, this is the promise I make to you. It's a promise that as long as I am your Commander-in-Chief, I will only send you into harm's way when it is absolutely necessary, and with the strategy, the well-defined goals, the equipment, and the support that you need to get the job done. This includes the job of bringing the Iraq War to a responsible end and pursuing a new comprehensive strategy to disrupt, dismantle, and defeat al-Qaeda and its allies in Afghanistan and Pakistan. And to get you the support you need, we're enlisting all elements of our national power, our diplomacy and development, our economic might, and our moral suasion, so that you and the rest of our military do not bear the burden of our security alone. We'll also ensure you can meet the missions of today, which is why we've halted reductions in Navy personnel and increased the size of the Marine Corps. And we will ensure you can meet the missions of tomorrow, which is why we're investing in the capabilities and technologies of tomorrow. The littoral combat ships, the most advanced submarines and fighter aircraft, so that you have what you need to succeed. In short, we will maintain America's military dominance and keep you the finest fighting force the world has ever seen. As you advance through the ranks and start families of your own, know that we will be with you every step of the way, increasing your pay, increasing child care, and helping families deal with the stress and separation of war. Because as my wife Michelle has come to see in her visits with military families across the country, when a loved one is deployed, the whole family goes to war. And finally, whether you're 26 years old or 89, if you've worn the uniform and taken care of America, then America will take care of you. With a modern VA that keeps faith with our veterans and wounded warriors, with a 21st century GI Bill that gives our veterans and their families the chance to live out their dreams. This is America's covenant with you, a solemn commitment to all those who serve. And while our nation has not always fulfilled its duties to its armed forces, let there be no doubt America's men and women in uniform have always fulfilled theirs. And that's exactly what America's Navy did just last month in the seas off Somalia. I will not recount the full story of those 5 days in April. Much of it is already known. Some of it will never be known. And that's how it should be. But here, on this day, at this institution, it must be said, the extraordinary precision and professionalism displayed that day was made possible, in no small measure, by the training, the discipline, and the leadership skills that so many of those officers learned at the United States Naval Academy.